Yiggity, and we are back. And they got fake toxicology reports out in the street. We got the friends begging for money. We got lawyers trying to stop people from telling everybody what's going on. We got an good old boy network at work, and I think we're gonna expose that. I'm Jay Lava. I scour the internet so that you don't have to, and we're gonna kick it off with this quote unquote expert and how they talk about how the autopsy is still sealed. Let's get right on into it. Here we go.
The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office announced that it has completed both Wells' autopsy and toxicology report, but those results are going to stay sealed until the grand jury gets the case. And while the medical findings are off limits, we know Wells' family is doing everything they can to get other information. Nolan's mother, for example, subpoenaed Meta, Snapchat, TikTok, Life360, seeking his messages, photos, GPS data as she pushes for answers as to what happened to her son. What are they going to learn? I want to ask digital forensics analyst Morgan Wright to talk about this. Morgan, good to see you. I have a lot of questions. So first of all, if they get all these records, okay, assuming that the companies don't put up a legal fight, if they get everything they're looking for, best case scenario, what is that going to tell them about what happened to Nolan?
That's a good question, Jesse. The thing I would do is I would take all of that information, I would map it against the GPS we have from the boat, when it left, when it slowed down, when it sped back up, map that with the call, and then map all of the digital media and the time and date stamps and location to that. So you can kind of create like a kaleidoscope, just a compendium of things that show you the timeline. When were pictures taken? What kind of data is there? Was he seen on the island? Was he not? Was he seen on the boat? So, we don't know what we know until they get this information, but I would start with the timeline. I would map the call against the GPS location and then map the social media when you get it to that.
Will they know if information has been deleted from any of the apps from the phone and when it was deleted? Because if they can create a timeline, if he was no longer on the boat and he was on Horn Island, would they be able to know what was deleted and when it was deleted?
Yeah, there's a couple companies out there. One that a lot of people have heard about, Celebrite. They do do a lot of great work on digital forensics, extraction. So yeah, if as long as it hasn't been tampered with or people haven't gotten in there looking around, that's part of the problem, right? Anytime you go in there, you start changing the footprint of what that device was. You want it in the pristine state, but Celebrite could still, an extraction like that could tell you what was there. And most of the time, depending on the operating system, who logged in and how, could tell you what was deleted, when it was deleted. That would give you some ideas if it was deleted. I'm not saying it was, but if it was, a Celebrite report could give you a lot of good facts.
There was news that came out that the family has also issued preservation notices to the family members of Nolan's friends, and I believe investigative agencies as well. My legal point of view, you're putting the pieces in place for a potential lawsuit. I've always wondered, if you go through the lawsuit route, you go through discovery, can they get answers that they may not get through the criminal investigation, the legal investigation, the law enforcement investigation? What kind of data could they get there, and how would that help them in their search for answers?
Well, look, yeah, first of all, the preservation notice, when I was a detective, we did the same thing too. It just says don't delete the records, don't do anything. Spoilage is indication of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that can be inferred in a court. So I think so far the families are all cooperating from what the record shows. So, and then what you would look at is look for communications, look for text messages, look for anything that shows contemporaneous texts or communications that might be tied with the disappearance of Nolan, when he disappeared, or was he seen? Did anybody say I saw him? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can get. But when you do that, that's a civil suit, right? So you can get a lot of information in discovery in a civil suit, but the grand jury can get a lot more information because they have full subpoena power, including the toxicology, including the autopsy.
By the way, I love that our digital guy here almost froze. I mean, it seems almost ironic, but we're good. We got you, Morgan. I want to play you something. This was a big piece of news this week. So Nolan Wells' family hired an audio engineer to review this distress call that was made from the boat that day. I want to play, and I'll tell you what, I'm getting word. Let's just take a break. Stay with me. We'll talk about it on the other side.
You bet.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I just want y'all to hear how they talking on the other side. You see, also, I wanted to kind of confirm. You remember when we was watching that interview, and we was like, man, look at their body language, this, that, and the third. where I don't know if y'all seen this, but we got a body language expert that kind of explains the whole thing. Check this out. It's kind of wild.
I am a former Army interrogator, human intelligence collector. I was trained by the United States government to analyze your language, body language, posture to identify deception. I did it in the real world through interrogations, through source operations, and through strategic debriefings. I've got tons of certifications. I'm an expert at this.
You guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. That is critically important information. All right, right here, he's talking about when his buddy Bart pulls out his buddy Wyatt's boat. So Bart is on one boat and he's pulling out Wyatt's boat. Wyatt's boat is the one that you've heard about was taken on water and sinking, and that's why they had to leave Horn Island. I want you to pay attention to this.
To where we're out of all this, all this chaos, because we left at 4:30 and there was still.
We left at 4:30. We left at 4:30.
Right.
This guy just said that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. Very specific time. Now, how did he know it was 3 o'clock? Brandon Tatum didn't ask him that. If this was an interrogation, that's a key question I would ask. How do you know it was 3 o'clock?
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was, the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms.
Cradling
Katie,
a girl.
That, Katie.
That's Katie McCormick that he's talking about. Katie McCormick said that's not true, but let's listen. This is at 3 o'clock. This happened at 3 o'clock.
And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing. That was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving,
well, when we were leaving, so it would be 4:30 because he's already said we were leaving at 4:30.
Nolan was sitting by the boat.
Nolan was sitting by the boat. How do you know, Warren, that Nolan was sitting by the boat? The last time you laid eyes on him was at 3 o'clock. It's now 4:30. This is your timeline.
Right.
Timeline is everything. At this part of the story, he's at 4:30. But he just said less than a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Nolan was.
Now let's stop this thing right here. Now you have an expert on this kind of thing. And he's actually telling you that this guy Warren is a damn lie.
I am a former Army.
I told y'all we wasn't lying. I just wanted to make sure we got other voices on that. Because it's exactly what we said about that story not lining up. And old girl like, yo, Mississippi, y'all need to come on to the front now.
Mississippi, bring that ass here, because y'all really done pissed me off with this one.
Joining us now to talk about the investigative process of this high-profile case, Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tindall.
Sheriff Ledbetter, you wouldn't be hiding from the public now, would you?
Thank you for taking time for us. And I know you've been watching this case closely. This is technically a state of Mississippi case. It's handled in Jackson County. But where does the role of the state come in?
Primarily in cases like this with any sort of suspicious death.
So let me get this straight. Sheriff Ledbetter came out and he told us that he didn't see any foul play and that he was leaning towards it being an accidental drowning. Now y'all are saying that it's suspicious?
Whether it's a suicide or a homicide or anything that the medical examiner might deem as suspicious.
Now you're using words like homicide, suspicious. I bet the medical examiner does find it suspicious down there. I bet the fuck she do, especially after all of us have been calling her out about the BS that she was on in the past previous cases. And now that the whole world is watching, y'all know y'all can't get away with the same stuff that y'all been doing that with business as usual for all this time. But let's continue.
That we will conduct the autopsy. And so, that is something that is typically performed by the state medical examiner. We happen to have the chief medical examiner of the state of Mississippi located down here on the coast. So she would be the pathologist that would handle that. And normally once that's wrapped up, as far as the autopsy and the report's completed, that information is uploaded into a system in which the coroner and the investigators can retrieve and review the autopsy report.
In other words, so your officials can review the autopsy report, but have you bothered to send that off to the second pathologist, the one who did the independent autopsy? Exactly. Will that be going to them anytime soon so that they can complete their autopsy as well? Because, this information is going around the world and everywhere except for anywhere that benefits the family. Interesting.
And that is where we are right now, from what we're hearing that was completed.
And again, we normally don't comment on when it's completed. We make it available to the coroner, and then the coroner, and you think about it, we're dealing with 82 counties across the state. They're going to have a better idea what's happening locally and who needs to be informed and when they need to be informed in those cases, as well as the district attorney.
Like I just said, they're people.
But I can tell you, as part of the normal course, it would have been completed by now. And that was really one of the things, Governor Reeves, when we came in, we had over 2,000 autopsy reports that had not been completed, dated all the way back to 2010. And although this is a very tragic case, I do think it shows you where the medical examiner's office is on getting these reports done in a timely fashion.
Did y'all catch that? See, you just told on yourself because you said that things are normally done in this timely fashion, but then you turned around and said that y'all are basically backlogged to 2010. So it was expedited. The governor expedited it, and now y'all got the autopsy results over there to the grand jury. But my biggest question is, when is the family going to get it? Because the family needs to get it, and their pathologist needs to get it as well. And oh yeah, you better be watching your back, because if we see anything that looks shady, shifty, or otherwise in this autopsy report, Stacey Turner, we back on your ass.
Straight up and down. Now y'all know it's another girl out there like Kimberly. They try to get at Kimberly on the news, or TMZ, I guess. But there's another one like Kimberly out there spreading the good news. Check her out.
This is now my third time making this video because they keep taking it down because they don't want you to see what I have found. Katie has dry snitched, y'all. Here we see Katie's Snapchat where she's wearing a teal swimsuit and she's with a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit. On this video of the three boats, you're going to see a girl in a blue and white striped swimsuit right here on Bart's boat, and right next to her with the same long wet hair is a girl in a teal swimsuit on Bart's boat. Make sure you have your brightness turned all the way up because here we have Katie in a teal swimsuit, and look at her head. She is wearing a white hat. Oh look, the video of the boat getting towed. Teal swimsuit, white hat. And that's not all, folks. Again, turn your brightness all the way up because right here we've got somebody wearing red trunks. Oh, and look what we have here. Red trunks. And here's those same red trunks on the shore right after the fight with Tristan. Katie is claiming that she allegedly caught a ride home with somebody named Marty McGrath. It just so happens that a Marty McGrath is the co-owner of the Biloxi Bay RV Resort and Marina in St. Martin. Here it is, and my, that is a massive dock way out in the water. And would you look at that? It's right next to the grandparents' house. Now, in that report with the GPS coordinates, didn't they say that they went southwest towards St. Martin Bayou? Yeah, that's right, it did. And it also took them 45 minutes to get to that boat ramp over there. That only takes about 6 minutes on land. Like I said, they are trying to take down my page. Make sure you are following my backup here. But Katie, I want to say one thing to you. You're young, and I know you don't realize this yet, but these are not your friends. Be a hero. Do what's right. This is now my...
Man, when you got them folks telling you what it is, when them folks is telling you what it is, I think it's almost kind of time to believe that. You got more of them folks coming out talking about it is what it is than anybody else. Them folks is going hard. But when we talk about the tactics that they going through, I don't know if y'all know, but it's a fake autopsy out there right now on Nolan Wells.
Just wanted to do a Nolan Wells update to all of you who are following the Nolan Wells case and maybe posting on it. There is a piece of fraudulent information that is circulating out there in the form of a supposed toxicology report on Nolan Wells. I'm reporting this from People Magazine. It is, in fact, a piece of AI. It is fraudulent. And by reposting it, you could possibly, allegedly, be targeted by the FBI or another law enforcement agency for, saying that it's an actual piece of evidence in an ongoing case. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that. If you see it, don't click on it, don't open it, and definitely don't repost it.
There you go. I want to make sure y'all knew about it too, in case y'all was oh yeah, I got the auto tune on. My bad, I forgot about the auto tune. I got the auto tune on, baby. You know I really, really want you. Baby. Let me take that off. I forgot I had that on. I think it pop on every time I turn the mic on. So yeah. But you know what? You know, even the young people got something to say, right? Like, you know, I spend a lot of times getting these adult point of views, you know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to hear from what the younger crowd is talking about, man. Like they not stupid either. Check this little conversation. These little young brothers is west of 110 is their podcast. Go check them out.
TMZ came out, a whole ABC came out, CNN came out, whole bunch of people coming out. There's reports. Who's reporting it? The people that are trying to cover it up. This man Nolan, he was highly intoxicated, man.
Yeah, so they should have threw his body off.
Yeah, so he should have been in the water overboard.
First of all, is how many days post him dying? Family getting harassed, mama getting left 1-star reviews.
Yep, on her shit.
Why? Detail. Yeah.
Why?
Just because harassment and
just because her son died,
and it's not.
And they're trying to cover it up, and I guess we're not allowing them to cover it up.
That's happening, and it's taken this long for us to just get the detail that he was in fact drinking.
After the audio dropped.
Keep
it in your mind. They said Nolan was drinking heavily. He was heavily intoxicated. This is from Brandon Tatum's interview with Warren.
Out on the island, women, you probably had alcohol. So y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You know, you guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, you know, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, you know, everybody my age and even people older than us were, you know, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. You know, we're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, you know, every weekend. Like, I fish the islands. I don't just, you know, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Ship Island too. So
Bullshit.
I'm very familiar with the islands, and
no one knows where you went.
I feel like it was just a big. I talked to Nolan, and you know, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking. Most of everybody, and.
But then he had said that he talked to Nolan and Nolan was fine. So I noticed that he lied twice in the same conversation.
I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations, and you know, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James.
So we're gonna.
He was heavily intoxicated. We're gonna
enter that into the record, right?
This is
Yeah.
how much,
legal
like,
proceeding.
This is how much a nigga's life means. Like, to even come up with a reason to be like whether he was intoxicated or not, it does not matter.
Is alcohol illegal in America, Alan?
No, when one of us are
They be on the
intoxicated,
island all the time.
what is the rule when one of your homies are intoxicated to the point to where they can't function? Oh yeah, help him.
Look out
protect
for
him.
him.
Look
Make
out for
sure
him.
These
They at
news
least
articles,
one nigga stay sober.
These niggas will find any reason to demonize a nigga.
TMZ came out, a whole ABC came out.
Only reason I popped the music on real quick because it had that little funny little background music in there. I was trying to cover that up, make sure I keep my little remnants of my ad revenue. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like even the shorties is talking, man. Like nobody is dumb, right, on what's going on out here. But I want y'all to be aware of the snakes too. Look at your boy Don Lemonade. Now he done had these folks all on this show and all of that, and look how he talking. Let's just listen to him.
If your goal is to help these teenagers, this strategy is not working. This ain't it. If you're trying, maybe you genuinely think you're trying to help them while you're enriching yourself. In my opinion, it is making more people suspicious, not less. It's creating more noise, more distraction, more arguments around personalities instead of evidence. And yes,
I stand corrected. I thought he was talking about Nolan supporters. He's actually talking about the people who made that GiveSendGo. So I stand corrected. And so that's okay. I stand corrected.
I question whether all of this serves the interest of these teenagers or the interests of the people building audiences around this case. And that is a fair question to ask.
Now that I think he's talking about content creators, because he's saying how content creators are hindering injustice in the Nolan Wells case. So first he tried to come with the parallel of how like the GiveSendGo was going. Now he's talking about us covering the case, which I find is really funny considering who your husband is at the crib there, Don Lemonade.
And also, it is very clear evidence of the difference between I don't want to be rude. I could be so rude right now and just rip this man apart. Between a so-called content creator and an actual journalist.
Oh, okay, so he's talking about Tatum.
Brandon Tatum. Leave the questions to the professionals.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. I give him that. I stand corrected. Like I thought I interpreted the whole clip wrong. I didn't know he was talking about race baiting Tatum. That was kind of my fault. You know. Hey, now I had featured a story from OG Uncle once before, and he say the word is black people listen up. He got got a story for you now. You gotta listen to what I'm talking about now. Hold on now.
A black UPS driver, by the name of Darnell Simmons.
Okay.
35 years old, married, 2 children.
Okay.
Knocked on the door of his delivery of a guy by the name of Wayne Prescott.
Damn. Okay.
Wayne Prescott invited Darnell in, gave him a cup of coffee, which was full of animal tranquilizer. Knocked him out, tied him up, threw him in the trunk. Now, after a while, his wife started looking for him because he didn't check in, and she put a missing persons report. So the police tracked him to his last delivery, which was this Wayne Prescott guy. Okay. But when they pinged his phone, it showed that he was at empty, abandoned warehouse, meatpacking warehouse, and so they traced him there. But when they got there, they found his car, but they didn't find him. But they did find poor Darnell Simmons' body.
Damn.
Then Wayne Prescott went to a hotel, and he was excited. This man was excited. And I'm trying to figure out, why was he excited? Because he killed a black person. But as it turns out, this Prescott guy was part of a ring of over 16 people operating in 6 different southern states. They had been taking pictures of black delivery drivers, and they had them posted, like the FBI have all the different pictures up. Well, they had them posted of all the drivers they were targeting. And a lot of them were already scratched out because they have been doing this for a long time. Now, the police found Wayne Prescott. This man was so happy that what he had done, that he hurried up and gave the police the whole videotape of him unaliving Darnell Simmons. They said it was so gruesome that 2 of the detectives, after looking at the tape, walked out the room and quit. Now, when they caught him, he told about 3 other killers like him, and they all got time. They gave Wayne Prescott 6 life terms. But the scary part is they were targeting UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, and every kind of delivery driver as long as they were black. Now, like I said, the police caught 4 of them in the end. But the police also had 11 names of 11 more, but they claimed that all the evidence is circumstantial with them. But 4 of them got life. And Wayne, like I said, got 6. So the moral of the story is, guys, it's dangerous out here during this time of Trump. They are targeting our people. If you're not armed, if you ain't walking around with and carrying at all times, when you sleep, have it in your damn pajamas.
Straight up.
When you go to the mailbox, take your AR. But most importantly, protect yourself. These are dangerous times. Okay? I'm out of here.
I think that was a very important message from Uncle. Y'all go ahead and give him an applause. Uncle went ahead and broke that down. Yep. Uncle broke that down. That's definitely a message needed. You got to stay strapped and heated because it is going down out here, my mans. Moving right along. Shorty say that them folks know. Everybody know. She say ain't nobody that don't know.
Those people already know how Nolan left up out of here.
Yep.
They know. The authorities know. The coroner's office know. The medical examiner knows. The Coast Guard know. The captain knew. Everybody knows when things like this happen, especially in the South, especially in Mississippi. Everybody knows the truth but the family. Yeah, that's why they call them cover-ups.
Yep.
Because everybody knows but you.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing now is buying time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they're doing right now. They're buying time.
That's it.
They knew exactly what happened. The autopsy been finished. This is how it goes. Cause y'all up here saying it's all the proof. We got all this proof. Yeah, that's what happened during cover-ups. You can have all the proof in the world, but if they don't want to give you justice, you're not getting justice.
Period.
Do we not understand? Justice was never meant for black folks. Unless it was locking your black ass up in a jail or a prison. It was never meant for us. They know what happened to him. They said literally on the CTO call, can we cover it up? What are we missing here? See, what they doing now is trying to brainwash and mind fuck you. Make you thinking you crazy, that you're not really seeing or hearing what you're really seeing or hearing. Yeah, we seeing and hearing it. It's a bunch of bullshit. They know exactly what happened to him. Let's stop acting like we don't know this. Those people already know how Nolan left up out of here.
I mean, I'm just saying.
They know.
I'm just saying, stop her when she lying. When she lying, I want to know. Because I felt like they know. That's all we've been saying. And they ain't telling us. That's a part of a cover-up. Period, point blank. And look, this is something that nobody ever really thought of from the beginning. Y'all know how they said they found Nolan? Check this out, though. I'm talking about on how they found him side of the game.
Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update, and something that I keep coming back to that is quite curious, things that make you go, is the park ranger who allegedly found Nolan, and he's anonymous. Why would that be anonymous? We know who the people are, the captain from the CTO. We know the United Cajun Navy, Todd Terrell, whatever. We know these people's names. Why do we not know who this park ranger is? And look at this. Somebody sent me this. I'll read this to you. On July 4th, 2026, Horn Island appears to have had limited, non-continuous security coverage despite an unusually large holiday crowd. The National Park Service describes Horn Island as a wilderness destination with no staff, facilities, or communications on the island. I found no public notice showing that a staff checkpoint, lifeguard station, dedicated medical team, or permanent law enforcement post was established there on July 4th. Public reporting indicates that hundreds and possibly thousands of people in many boats gathered around the island. Witnesses described the heavy boat traffic, strong currents, and conditions becoming more dangerous later in the afternoon. Here is the available evidence, right? Any NPS ranger or Marine law enforcement presence was likely patrol-based rather than continuously stationed among the crowd. The Coast Guard and local authorities had regional response capability, but I found no verified public record stating how many boats, officers, or rangers were actively covering Horn Island during the daytime celebration. After Nolan Wells was reported missing that evening, the response expanded into a search involving the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, the National Park Service, the Coast Guard, and volunteer search organizations. A park ranger later located his body on July 6. Investigators subsequently asked attendees for photographs, videos, and eyewitness accounts, which suggests authorities did not possess comprehensive on-site surveillance or documentation of the gathering. So, who is this anonymous park ranger? And they said the rangers only go there in the morning and everything. So there's just so many different questions to ask. But most of all, why are they not naming this anonymous park ranger? Is he real? Is she real? Do they really exist? Because there are no park ranger stations on this island.
Uh-oh.
Damn.
They done got caught in another lie, man.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the?
Uh-oh. They forgot one small detail. Who's the park ranger? Why it's an anonymous park ranger? Uh-oh. You know you done messed up, don't you? You know you done messed up. You know you done messed up, don't you? Yes, sir. They done messed up. Look, and just like the people that's in the chat, just yeah. Look at the idiots in the chat. Look. This is what they want y'all to believe, y'all. Listen.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. It's Tila. I'm back with another video. Make sure y'all like and share this video out because I'm about to give you a word of why they want you to shut up, because they want us to believe these things. They want us to believe that Nolan Wells washed up on a shoreline, face down perfectly from the tides that threw him in after a 13-hour search with drones and Navy SEAL boats. They want us to believe that, don't they? They want us to believe that Carmelo Anthony walked under a tent with intentions to hurt and unalive someone, and no one did anything to him to make him react the way he reacted. They want us to, don't they? They want us to believe that Daniel Irvin jumped off of a bridge into a lake and accidentally drowned despite.
He was very comfortable with swimming in the pool, swimming in lakes. The autopsy report shows my son had an unobstructed airway. So my son did not drown.
They want us to believe that Tyler Smith passed away due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound while playing Russian roulette. But they didn't even so much as test the gunpowder residue on now one of the other people playing the game. They want us to believe this stuff. And on the flip side, they want us to believe that Chow had the right to self-defend himself and unalive Cyrus because he ran away from their store and he thought that he stole some or took some from his store. You know what? No justice, no peace. Exactly. Y'all continue on at it, continue to channel, because at the end of the day, all the racial slurs, everything they try to do to demolish and discredit us, it's not going to work. At all. No justice, no peace. And just know this, people.
You're close to something. You didn't hear what I just said. God told me to tell you the reason the
I can't play that because of the music, but y'all get the message. You understand what I'm saying? But also, I want y'all to there's an aspect of this that nobody's talking about. Nobody is talking about this little detail. Hold on real quick. Ain't nobody talking about this, though.
Off your chest, media. They the best.
I think it's very telling that Asian Americans are not talking about the Nolan Wells case in the same way that Black Americans are. A mixed Asian kid was murdered, and I'm not seeing anywhere near as much anger from the Asian American community as I.
Yeah, Christine Walmsley all by herself, ain't she? What happened to all of that Stop the Asian Hate? The Stop the Asian Hate don't work over here? Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate you, brother. All that Stop Asian Hate don't work over here, huh? Not when you got a little Negro in you, huh? Oh, they can't spread the Stop Asian Hate over there to you because you got a little Negro in you. Too bad, buddy. Wow. Okay. Tell me more.
I am seeing from the Black community. I'm not trying to pit communities against each other or try to make people lay claims as to what his identity is. What I am saying is the lack of response really shows the kind of purity culture that exists in Asian American communities. From my own experience, unless you are 100% purely Asian, you're basically not Asian anymore. You're something else. And this completely ruins the opportunity for pan-Asian American solidarity. I don't think this started in the United States. I think it stems from many East Asian countries. A lot of East Asian countries push for homogenization, where they expect people to be 100% whatever their country is, be able to speak the language fluently, know all of the mannerisms and all of the different types of food, and like all the different types of food. Be a little bit westernized, maybe speak some English, maybe play the violin or something, but not enough that they lose or dilute their East Asian blood. And I feel like that this cultural standard has leaked into the United States to the point where if someone is half or a quarter Asian. I hate using percentages, but some of you are fucking idiots and don't know how to think outside of that. Then their Asianness is obsolete. Not only should we be pissed off about Nolan Wells' case because he was a child and he was the only black person in a room full of white people, but he was also the only Asian person too. And I feel like that is not being highlighted enough because Asian Americans are not standing up for him in the same way. If we really want to have a pan-Asian American identity or to understand how we can show up in solidarity for each other, his case is one really good fucking example. And a lot of you are failing.
Yo, check this out right here.
Damn.
Nolan Wells was Blasian.
Did y'all think about that? Did y'all think about that at all? Was that even in your memory banks?
With a black father and half Asian mother. The Asian community should be demanding justice for Nolan alongside the black community. Like Nolan, I too spent my childhood being the only non-white kid in my friend group. And while it certainly felt emotionally and socially unsafe at times to hang out with a bunch of white females, I can't imagine how physically unsafe it is to be the only person of color in a group of white males who are categorically the most violent demographic in the history of humanity. So for any person of color who's friends with white folks, please check out the videos I posted recently talking to a white friend of mine who's done a lot of inner work deconstructing her own internalized white supremacy and racism. If your white friends can't engage with you in this way, they probably aren't that safe for you, and you might want to question whether to continue being close to them, as this incident has shown that being the only person of color amongst a group of white folks isn't safe. May Nolan's family get the justice they deserve.
Damn. Even she know it's not safe. That's serious. She kind of just broke that down. Look, she ain't even the only one. She is not the only one. Not the only one at all. Look, even my man's got something to say about it.
Nolan Wells was Blasian, with a black father and half Asian mother. The Asian community should be demanding justice for Nolan alongside the black community.
Do you want to know why they don't?
Why?
Why Asians are not demanding justice for Nolan Wells?
Tell me why, brother. Tell me why.
Alongside the black community is because in Asia, generally speaking, across the board, they view black people as inferior. A person that is black presenting will never be accepted as Asian. You, as a woke Asian, should know this more than anybody else. Unless you're going to deny the fact that there is colorism, deep colorism in Asian cultures, generally speaking. There is not one country in Asia that will look at Nolan Wells and say, that is one of ours. You and I both know this. As a matter of fact, this is what goes on in Asia, specifically in China. Check it out. a museum where they compare savage animals to black people.
Damn. Damn. They got like gorillas on the wall. They got like, if y'all can't.
Where they make dolls, black dolls, designed for you to punish them, throw them against the wall, bang them on the floor, step on them to relieve you from your frustration. And specifically, black dolls. Why black? Because a white doll is too human. And a doll that is designed to step on, to throw against the wall, to slap around, while looking white is too inhumane. Asian cultures, and I'm not being specific, I'm not saying Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Korean. I mean Asian cultures across the board. Culturally, are colorist, are anti-black. So when you get on camera and say,
Nolan Wells was Blasian, with a black father and half Asian mother.
Blasian? Let me ask you a question. Which Asian community will look at Nolan Wells or any person that is black presenting, that has an Asian mother or an Asian father, will accept this individual as part of their Asian community? Name which Asian culture. It doesn't exist. There is not a single culture that is non-black out in the world that will look at a black person, even if that person is mixed with one of theirs, that will look at this individual that is black presenting with Afrocentric features and claim them as one of theirs. Whether it's Asian cultures, Latino cultures, etc. And that goes for the people that are determined to call themselves biracial. Listen, if you have Afrocentric features, you are black. Doesn't matter if you're light-skinned, if your mother is white. As long as one of your parents is black, as long as you were born with Afrocentric features, your racial category is black. Have you ever noticed that no matter what you're mixed with, society cannot see what you are mixed with, but they could see the black that you are mixed with? You ever wondered that? Let's say one of your parents is black and your other parent is white. Your other parent is Asian. Your other parent is Latino. Whatever. If society sees that you have a mixture, they cannot guarantee what that mixture is and or what you are mixed with. But they could guarantee that whatever else you're mixed with,
you
for
ain't
sure,
white.
There's black in there. Because we can see it. And that is what race is and how it works. The way society views you and categorizes you by default without knowing what your nationality is, what your ethnic backgrounds are, who your parents are. That is irrelevant to the way society, people that don't know you on first sight, the way they categorize you racially, that is what race is and how it works. Oh, but what about my white mama? What about her? I don't want to just claim my black daddy. I want to claim my white mama. Then claim her. What does that got to do with the fact that society, on first sight, they racially identify a black person? How you feel about that is completely irrelevant. For the people talking about, oh, he's not black, he's biracial. No such thing. I'm sorry. Race is not determined by your feelings. Right. Race is determined by what you are phenotypically presenting, regardless who your parents are, regardless of where you are born. When society...
Well, I don't think that though. I don't think that though. Yeah, that might be true for Latinos and all of that, but that ain't got nothing to do with us. We're definitely different than the diaspora. I don't know what he's talking about. I let him cook long enough. But he was spitting though. He was spitting. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, to actually follow that message up, all this dilly-dallying that they doing, you know they're using time as a reference, right? Like they're using that as a mechanism to get us stuck.
This is the way I see it, guys. They're using time for a weapon.
Yep.
and you got the independent autopsy stating that some of his internal organs were missing, and also the structure of his structure of his neck was missing.
Right.
Which, when I did my research, that sometimes they send it in a jar where they can examine it. Not completely, it's absent. They cannot even observe it because it's absent. Some of his stomach is gone. The Mississippi Examiner said that there was no foul play, which the independent autopsy stated that they cannot rule out foul play. And then also they can't observe the lungs because the lungs are missing to even see if he might have drowned. Right. So that would have cleared everything up if they would have been able to examine the lungs and maybe proved that he drowned. But they can't do that because they're absent, they're missing. So I'm thinking that they are really, really trying to cover shit up.
Yeah.
They are really trying to cover shit up. I don't care what nobody say. And we need justice. We need justice. You need to bring the medical examiner, Mississippi medical examiner in for questioning. You need to bring all the people that's been tampering with evidence.
Yeah.
Need to be brought in to be questioned. I think they've been tampering with evidence. That's what I think.
You ain't lying.
Allegedly.
Y'all got Auntie out
tampering with evidence.
Y'all got Auntie out here pondering.
I don't know what else to say. I'm really kind of.
I get your Auntie now.
But you know what? The truth is gonna come out.
It is.
No matter what, the truth is gonna come out. It's gonna come out, guys. So you may well get ready.
That's Auntie right. She right. Now, I'm with you when you're right now. But when she's talking about the collusion, I think, we got to go to their people to sum it up for what it really is. This is collusion.
Good old boy politics, or the good old boy network. What does it really mean? Let's get into it. Now, if you've lived in the South, particularly a place like Mississippi long enough, you've definitely heard of the good old boy network. And I want to dissect what that is, because it's not some secret meeting in some shady, dimly lit, smoke-filled back room. It simply means that all the power tends to get concentrated into the hands of very few people who know each other, probably went to school together, attend church together, go hunting together, and oftentimes protect each other. You see, down here in a place like Mississippi, relationships matter more than accountability. And when that's the case, people stop asking what's right and wrong, and they start asking, boy, whose side are you on anyway? Now, I don't want y'all to think I just came to talk shit, because I brought receipts. So let's open the case up, shall we? Back in the 1980s, the FBI launched Operation Pretense, called over 50 county supervisors in the state of Mississippi accepting kickbacks and steering county contracts to their friends and family. Around that same time, the FBI said that the Harrison County Sheriff's Office operated more like a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency. So it ain't like the Mississippi Gulf Coast was immune. Then we fast forward to the 2010s. Christopher Epps, the former leader of Mississippi's prison system, pled guilty to accepting millions in kickbacks for steering prison contracts to the right people. And then, of course, there's the now infamous Mississippi welfare scandal. You know the story. Millions of public dollars that were intended to help the poorest families in Mississippi were instead diverted into.
Don't forget to add Brent Farr's name to that, because I did that story right here on the Keep It P podcast. If y'all go to the lives and do a search, I did the story. It was Brent Favre, and they tried to sweep that under the rug too. Matter of fact, they actually kind of just end up doing that. So we already know what's up with Mississippi.
Private projects for influential Mississippians like Brett Favre, but I'm sure it didn't stop there. Who knows what they're doing today that we won't find out about for another fucking 10 years. See, all of these incidents, they don't point to some statewide good old boy network. But when the trends persist for decades as they have here in Mississippi, friends getting contracts, influential people being above scrutiny, at least more so than the ordinary citizen, it definitely, sits in the minds of the residents here as being so much more than an urban legend or rural legend in this case. It's not a urban legend. It's a reality. And don't think it's a party affiliation thing, because it's not about Republicans or Democrats. Right. It's about power, protecting power. And the cure for it isn't your same loyalty that you've had. You can't just vote for the party over the person. The way we fix it is with transparency, with investigative journalism, or even just private citizens like you who aren't afraid to ask uncomfortable questions, especially when the answers make powerful people uncomfortable. Anyway, love y'all. Have a good one.
No, that was it.
Good old boy politics.
I appreciate the breakdown, homeboy. I had to go ahead and give him a follow and a like for that. Like, he just broke that down simply and plain. You know what I'm saying? Just so you know what you're dealing with. and since this broadcast was about they friends begging for money, I definitely want to go over the hypocrisy on every time some black people get some money, it's a problem. But when the YT people get it, all hell. It's all good.
Whitney Decker had a fundraiser after losing her 3 daughters that raised nearly $1.3 million. Austin Metcalf's family had 2 separate fundraisers, raising over $800,000. A Louisiana family that lost 3 teenage children started a fundraiser that raised over $100,000. Shiloh Hendricks is recorded using a racial slur to a child and a man, and the community raises her almost $1 million. Dalton Etherly had an entire platform built on harassing black people, following them, calling them racial slurs, which eventually led to him shooting a black man. He raised over $300,000 with his fundraiser. And then we have Emily Kaiser. Yes, she was already a successful influencer before her 3-year-old son drowned. However, there was absolutely no accountability, and she has cashed in on that tremendously. She has stated that her and her husband are now water safety advocates, although her younger son was on a boat with no life jacket. But even through that, people are still able to see her as human, as grieving, and as an imperfect parent. Now, everyone that I just named, do you know what they all have in common?
What?
Yeah, they're all white.
Yep.
Every one of them. So why is that humanity so hard to extend to black families? Why is white grief accepted while black grief is interrogated and torn apart for ulterior motives? And then we have Nolan Wells. His family starts a fundraiser and gets completely torn apart. Suddenly, everybody on the internet is a forensic accountant. Suddenly, his parents are greedy. Suddenly, they're exploiting their child's death. They very clearly stated what the fundraiser is for, when honestly it's nobody's business if you're not actually donating to them. And while she is a physician's assistant, people don't put up a savings account for just in case my child dies, for therapy, for investigators, for lawyers, for time off of work, literally time to just be comfortable and breathe. People did the same exact thing to Carmelo Anthony's parents. Before they could even pull the money from the fundraiser, people had already started lying, saying they abandoned Carmelo, took all the money, and spent it on an expensive house and an expensive car. GiveSendGo confirmed at that time no money had been withdrawn. Of course, that wasn't enough to stop people from their awful assumptions, so GiveSendGo released another statement. They told people that the Anthonys were completely transparent when they made their fundraiser. They told them it would be used for legal fees, for counseling, for relocation, for security, transportation, and basic living expenses during the trial. Everybody always wants to leave a comment with their 2 cents, so answer something for me. When do black people get your approval? When do they meet your standards?
Never.
Because if they're financially struggling, you talk shit about them being financially irresponsible and say they should have prepared better, even though nobody prepares for losing a child. When they have careers and a 2-parent household, you say they're greedy and they shouldn't need the help. So when exactly are black families allowed to get community support and help that you praise other people for getting?
Right.
And you know I like to stick with the facts, so let me give you the research behind it. Crowdfunding sources started by a black or a brown individual receive less donations and less shares than if it were started by a white individual. It's crazy to get called a mud shark, a white savior, a liberal, and everything in between.
Yeah, you know what they
because I
calling you
simply
right now.
care about people who do not look like me.
Right.
Of course, me standing up for other people doesn't mean that I don't want equality and protections for white people. I am white. My children are white. It literally means that I want those same protections and equalities for people who do not look like me. I want the same humanity, the same grace, the same opportunities, the same investigations, the same fucking caring as white people receive. I want that extended to everybody. And if that pisses you off, then maybe you should sit with why. Maybe you've gotten too comfortable only caring when the grieving family looks like you. Whitney Decker had a fundraiser.
I'm gonna go ahead and give her some applause on that. Yeah. She cooked. It was she broiled. She might even put some salt and some pepper in that. She might have. Yep. She might have put a little salt and a little pepper in that. For real. And that's why I be playing, you know what I'm saying, other people to show even the people in my chat that not everybody's idiot dweebs like y'all. Even y'all people get it. You think I'm playing? When I be scouring for real. I got a plethora of all type of videos. Just like y'all be talking about that audio. Listen to what she said.
Listen to the Nolan Wells audio, the recording of the call to the boat tow company. Don Lemon posted it, so I did listen to it on his page. I had my husband listen to it as well because he has the best hearing on planet Earth. And I have to say, I almost don't believe my ears. And because of that, we listened to it without reading the subtitles so that we wouldn't be swayed by the subtitles and we would just hear what we were actually hearing. So when we did this, I wrote a bunch of post-it notes with exactly what we heard. Can we cover it up? Yeah, I thought all about that. We heard cover it up for a second time. Ooh, shit. Someone said either I'm thinking or I'm sinking. I think it was thinking though. You killed him. We both heard someone scream, Nolan. He's dead. We both heard the word suspect and oh my God and get the fuck up. I think that was like one of the most clear things that was said in the audio. And we also heard, damn it, Bart. That was very, very clear. So it's safe to say I was extremely troubled about this case before I listened to the audio. Now that I've listened to it at least 10 times, we need answers. Because this is the sketchiest shit I've ever heard. So if you want to listen to the audio, go listen for yourself. Don Lemon has it on his page. And I guarantee you will hear many of these same things. We need answers and justice for Nolan now.
Well, there you go. And there you go. Right? So check it out. This is what we're gonna do. I'm finna tap out real quick, and then I'm gonna come back for the night session. We finna watch some crime stories. I got them all lined up for y'all. I didn't get to do it the other day. I watched that Spider-Man 2. I might have to give a review on Spider-Man, and it's gonna have to be spoilers because I don't know how to tell the story without spoilers. But there was a couple things I noticed in it on the B1 side of the game, because you know I'm probably like one of the worst persons to go watch a movie with because I be picking out the plot and I know what's going on and I be picking up on little nuances and this, that, and the third, but I still like watching them. But yeah, there was a couple things that I picked up in it. I might even have to watch it one more time before I give it to the review to make sure I seen what I seen. But I don't want to hold you. I'm emoji, fold you, and scold you about being on code. You know, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike in the algorithm, comment your vomit, share if you care. about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it on home, I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm going to be right back, but I got to go high for show high. You already know.